Hi guys, so today I'm just going to do a very quick video for anybody who wants to know how to sow ready to grow tomatoes. Today I am sowing Tomato Gardener's Delight, one of my favourite cherry tomatoes. It's a good sized cherry, so it's not too small, it's not too big, and it's got a lovely sweet taste. It's sort of stood the test of time. Many gardeners use this one, it's a good favourite, and it's a great garden performer as well. So I'm just going to show you what I'm doing. Now there's literally no frills with this video guys, so it's very much the basics of how to. I like to use a little cell tray. There's loads of cells here, purely because you can get a little bit more in, and then when it comes to the time that the plants are ready to pick out and go into the next size pot, it makes it a lot easier than if you were to sow directly into one big seed tray. That's just my personal view, and that's what I normally do. So all I've used is just a multi-purpose compost, just a basic one, cheap and cheerful. You can get seed compost if you want your seedling compost. It tends to be quite refined and sort of not better quality, but in the sense that the texture's there, it's much finer, it's easier for sort of the seeds to push through. And also if you are filling up things like this, the little cell trays, you tend to get less of the bark and gubbings like this. There's a little bit there sticking out, that's only a little bit, so it's not too bad. With multi-purpose, it's a lot cheaper. I like using it for all my seeds because I'm not bothered about having the refined mixture, because I'm quite happy just to pull out the odd bit of bark or odd bit of twig that I find in there and sort of crumble it in myself. So if you imagine you're making an apple crumble when you're filling up your seed tray, just rub your hands together through the compost, and that just helps break it down and makes it refined manually. So you're not paying the price, but you are still getting quite a nice refined compost. And like I say, just take out odd bits. There's a little bit of stuff there, a bit of bark if you want to. If it's quite a small seed you're working with, which tomatoes can be a little bit smaller, you can pull those out, and that will stop the well, it will keep the compost nice and refined, and keep those horrible big bits out the way. So all I'm doing is literally, you can see I've just started dropping a seed in per cell. Sometimes I put 2 in, so this sort of gives one chance to grow and one chance to fail, but I'm being a bit bold this time. I'm just going to do 1 seed per cell. So I'm just working my way through, and all I'm going to do is gently plonk the seed in. I'm going to go through all the different cells, just gently push down. I'm not being overly detailed on how far I'm pushing them in, because I just think, you know, life's too short. Gardening is gardening at the end of the day. If it's going to grow, it's going to grow. So I'm going to push it in a fair amount down, and then just gently cover the tops with my finger. That one was probably a little bit close to the top of the compost actually, but never mind, it'll find its way back down when you water. There we go. I'm dropping seed everywhere. So I'm just going to keep working my way through the tray and doing that, and this will probably fill up because I've got quite a few. That's why I'm being a bit awkward. I've got seeds in my other hand. I'm going to fill up the whole tray, and when I've done that, I'll tell you what's next. There we go. I've just got rid of the seed out of my hand, so I'm less awkward now showing you what to do. And I've lined all the seed up in every single cell. There's the odd one that's accidentally put 2 in there, but you know, it doesn't matter. That's an extra plant as far as I'm concerned. So again, I'm just going through and gently pushing the seeds down, probably about 1 centimetre if you do want to know, but I'm being so rough here. I mean, there'll be people that will tell me I'm not being refined enough, but this is what I do. I've done it for years and it works for me. So give it a go. I think sometimes you can get too worried about what you're doing when you're gardening. So that's nearly the whole tray done. So that's great. So that's filled most of my tray, and I've still got seed left over, which is great. You tend to get a good amount of seed with Mr. Fothergill, so that's fantastic. And then I'm just going to go gently over as I did earlier, just to cover up the seed gently, pushing the compost from the sides of each cell down. Again, I'm not being fussy. I'm just pulling it together and giving it a firm little tap on top, not too hard, just enough to cover it and secure it. And then when I've gone through the whole tray, by the way, I'm really not bothered about levels either, so I'm not going to go around with my ruler and say, oh, that's really low, but that's really high. I'm really not bothered about it at this stage. Tomatoes are pretty straightforward and easy. They are not fussy. They just need to stay warm and light as well. So there we go. So I filled up this tray, and I'm just going to move my seeds out of the way because I've got some left and I don't want to get them wet. So I'll just grab my watering can. There we go. And I'm going to give them a nice soak. Put a nice fine rose on, because at this stage I don't want to use a watering can with too much water pressure coming through, because that could ultimately push the seed out. So using a nice fine rose is perfect. You get good even coverage across the whole of the seed tray, and also it's a nice gentle water, so it's enough to sort of firm them in but not too much that it's going to push the seed out. And then all I'm going to do now is grab myself a label, and I'm going to label up from the front. And then I've got these propagators that I've done here. This is what I did earlier with my peppers. I've just got these little propagator lids. They were really cheap. I got them from B&Q. I probably shouldn't say that owning a garden centre, but they're from B&Q, and they're a pack of 5 and a pack of 10. And it's the best thing that I've bought. I bought them last year and I'm using them again this year. So reusing plastic where possible if we are using plastic. So I'm going to put one of those on in just a sec, and I'll show you where I'm going to put it and the best sort of location to get the best out of your tomato seeds germinating. So there we go. As you can see, I have put the lid on as suggested, and I have put it on the top shelf on top of a table in the greenhouse. It's getting plenty of light up here. It's warmer near the top as well. And also, as you can see, I have labelled it at the front. And sometimes I like to put where the seeds have come from, so what brand they are. Just because it's good to know from a quality point of view, you know, their success rate in germinating. Good to know for next year if they weren't so great, maybe try them again or try a different brand, or if you've had a couple of years on the trot that not been so good. It's just good to keep a little record of where your seeds are coming from. So if they do really well, then you know it's good, generally good quality over and over again. That's what I like to do anyway. So I'm very much looking forward to my Garden's Delight. They'll take probably about 7 days, maybe 10 days, because I have got a cold greenhouse. I'm not heating it, but we are into nicer weather now. So this is end of March going into April. And I've got lots of bubble wrap that actually insulates the greenhouse as well. And I can fleece up if it does get a bit colder. So from a temperature point of view, this is fine, but plenty of light and sun. You can see this is absolutely flooding with it at the moment, and that should keep them going. So I'm looking about 7 to 10 days we should see some action, and I will give you a full update, and I'll re-edit this video as soon as we start seeing them come through. And then what I'll do is a follow-on video just to show you how to re-pot onto the next step, and then also we'll do how to pop them into your, or plant them up into your grow bags or pots in the greenhouse and keep them going so you get the best yield and crop off them possible. Thank you so much for watching. I know this is a bit of a basic video, but I really hope this video has helped someone out there who may be just getting into growing or hasn't grown tomatoes before but have grown other things. It's really simple, as you can see. There's no major technique to it. I'm sure there's lots of things you can do to make your success better. Some people put things like vermiculite on the top if they want to instead. Some people grow them on the windowsill in their bedroom but start them off earlier. Me personally, I like to grow them in the greenhouse, not necessarily heated but kept warm, from late March, beginning of April, because also if you haven't got a heated greenhouse, there's no point in starting them too early, because you're going to end up planting them out and they're not going to survive if you are putting them outside, or your greenhouse is going to be too cold for them anyway. So I tend to do mine a little bit later. So I shall keep you updated, and I'll let you know when we are germinating. Make sure you look out for me on Twitter, at Lottie Knew It is my handle, or on Instagram, and I'll give you updates through there and you can see how we're getting on. If you have any questions, please do comment down below, or if there's anything you'd like to know how to grow, be it vegetables or flower seed, or even cuttings for that matter. If there's anything you want to have a go at propagating, you're not sure, please do feel free to comment down below. If I can't help you, I'm sure I know someone who can. Thank you guys so much for watching, guys. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel for more tips on how to grow, greenhouse updates, and also my garden flower vlogs as well. Cheers, bye.